Johnson Professionals Incorporated is located in Rainham Woods, Rainham, Massachusetts.
This is where the Bridgewater-Rainham Johnson & Johnson partnership began 5 years ago with the Engineering Awareness Program.
Our involvement goes actually a few years back in work with Bridgewater-Rainham. We've initiated a program called the Engineering Awareness Program, and over the years, over the past 5 years that we've had this program, we've done 10 groups of students, and it's always been a great positive experience.
Considering our already strong partnership, it was no surprise that Johnson & Johnson quickly offered to collaborate with us on the US First project.
Beginning in November, students attended numerous pre-competition education sessions to gain a background and skills needed for the competition. These workshops were held at Johnson & Johnson. The first session introduced students to computer-aided design, or CAD for short. Johnson & Johnson engineer Stephen Gabriel walked US First members through the process of designing and drawing using CAD. This benefited students who would later need the knowledge to produce a 30-second video of their robot entry for the competition.
The second session gave students inside information on SLA prototyping. SLA is used in the lab to make a prototype directly from CAD. A laser is used to solidify a layer of resin, which is then added on top of already compiled resin. By forming layers, as opposed to directly cutting away pieces, wasted materials are significantly reduced. It is chiefly used to produce a solid part in order to test the product's feasibility. Students would need this computer-guided process to make sure the parts would fit together and that their design is workable.
For the third session, students headed to the drawing board. This was perhaps the most important phase of instruction. Using flowcharts and tables, engineer Sal Calderese lectured the team about the fundamentals of design. After, students were asked to solve a design problem in 10 minutes. This was excellent preparation for the design team, who would later need to think practically under the constraint of a time limit.
It allows some of the students to get some exposure into the industry, things that they wouldn't see within school, especially with the rapid prototyping. And that's something that isn't even in the textbooks yet.
On February 10, 1996, BR teachers Liz Califf and Glenn Morrison and J&J engineers Sal Calderese and Terry Young traveled to Manchester, New Hampshire, where the mystery of the competition was finally unveiled. They got the inside scoop on the playing field, the rules, and the parts kit. After a day of clowning around, it was time to buckle down and get to work.
After working diligently for nearly a week sketching preliminary designs, students were ready to present their ideas. Meeting at the Moakley Center at Bridgewater State College, design groups formally explained each aspect of their design to the team and to J&J engineers as a whole. After the presentation, each flaw and benefit was carefully discussed. Finally, a composite of all the best ideas was made, and the blueprints for TJ Squared were born.
Since the kickoff meeting, BR shop classes had spent days pre-cutting and drilling parts to build a full-scale model of the playing field. Finally, on the 10th day, the pieces were ready. Sacrificing their February vacation, team members began to build the field at the Moakley Center. This construction was essential for the team to get a perspective and size and setup of the playing field, and a working knowledge of the game.
By the third week, students began to experiment with playing strategies. Members of the team donned goggles and knee pads, got down on their hands and knees, and began to play the game. Players' hands were tied behind their backs to grasp the full effect. Playing proved to be more difficult and aggressive than expected. After the game was simulated, team members, teachers, and engineers joined in the auditorium and thoroughly analyzed every strategy. The team then selected a winning combination of offense and defense and set out to master them.
After the design was voted on, members of the build team immediately began construction. Johnson & Johnson donated office space and endless hours to help students build. Many prototypes were designed, made, and thrown out. Working hard to finish the robot, students went to J&J every day after school and on the weekends. Speed was essential, but quality was not sacrificed. TJ Squared began to take on life.
Now it's on to New Hampshire, where we hope to win the competition and the Chairman's Award. We have gained invaluable knowledge and experience. We have had the opportunity to work hands-on with engineers and state-of-the-art technology. Regardless of how we do in the competition, we will always have the friends we made and the engineering know-how, all before even entering the job field.
And willing to commit to it is really helpful for someone who's not in school anymore and who's working in the real world. And then on the other side of the coin, and I can only suppose that this is happening, but I think it is, and that is that the students get to see on some level what the engineers go through, somewhat on a day-to-day level, but just more broadly what sorts of things they look at, how they go about looking at things, what an engineer's roles might entail in terms of adding to a project and adding to this project in particular. So I think there's value for both sides, and there's this give and take and interaction that helps everyone out.
That's our edge over some of these other public school industry partners. And we didn't need US First to become a partner. We had our partnership long ago, and it's evolving. You can shut that down.